This season of So Wrong It's Right is sponsored by our friends at Foxy Bingo. Are you looking for a fun online bingo experience all at the tip of your finger? Whether you're a seasoned bingo pro or a complete beginner, Foxy Bingo is the place for you. They've got bags of bingo to go around, plus loads of top slots that you can grab a paw full of. They have a huge range of free, classic and exclusive games you can play with your mates and community chat, so you can always feel part of the Foxy pack. So get your fox on by heading to Foxy Bingo today. 18 plus, begambleaware.org, T's and C's apply. You were already so famous from N-Dubz, but I think where you went into that next category was with the X Factor.
I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was just trying my best. All of a sudden, I'm like one of the most famous people in the country at the time.
The sex tape, it happened between series 1 and series 2.
Yeah, it's taken me many, many years to come to terms with it.
One of the things that they speculated over the years is cosmetic stuff. But you've actually never spoke about it, I believe.
So to take you from the beginning,
Tulisa, welcome to So Wrong It's Right. Hi, Liv. Guys, I am so excited. I have had, and I shouldn't do this because every guest is an honour and every guest is exciting, but I have had some really surreal moments since doing this show.
Yeah.
And you are definitely up there.
Aww.
It's very surreal. And I have to set the scene for the Gen Z.
Okay.
Of me driving in my Peugeot 207.
206.
206.
Mine was the 206.
Listening to N-Dubz, blasting it out the windows. Like, some of the themes of the songs are quite dark. I'm like going through these tragedies I'd never even been through. In my mind, I'm like going to private school, but I'm like rapping along to the boys' bits. Like, it honestly was a cultural reset.
Aww.
So to have you here is very, very surreal. Aww. You are a platinum selling artist, 5 Mobo Awards, 13 top 40 singles. I mean, just to name a few, it's some rap sheet.
Yeah, I've done a bit.
You've done a bit.
I've been
You've done a
bit.
Tulisa is not your actual name.
No, it isn't. You're the first person to bring that up ever. I love that.
Am I?
Fresh energy, yeah.
It's Tula.
Tula.
I literally, all the years of knowing you, following you, I'd never heard that mentioned.
Yeah, I think, because Tulisa, so let's start from the beginning. My grandmother is also called Tula. So I was named after her. So Tulisa means tiny Tula.
In what language?
In Greek.
In Greek?
Yeah, because I'm half Greek. So then if you pronounce Tulisa in British, Tulisa. Tulisa.
We just butcher it.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? So that ended up being my nickname anyway, growing up.
Oh, got you.
So in Greek, Tulisa.
I want to go back to it's not the beginning, but I guess sort of where we came to know you, it was N-Dubz.
Yeah.
How does N-Dubz come into existence?
Well, because you're an N-Dubz fan, you'll know Uncle B.
Yes.
Uncle B was Dappy's dad.
Yeah. Dappy's your cousin.
Dappy's my cousin. Uncle B sadly passed away when I was 18. But before that, he basically managed N-Dubz. And when his son, Dappy, came to him at a very young age and said, "Dad, I want to be a rapper," he was like, "Okay, but I think we're going to do a lot better if we get a group together." So we get like another person, a female singer. So Faisal was his best friend from the age of 8 in karate lessons. Even though I was a singer, they didn't come to me first. They went to this other girl in school who I remember called Rachel. She was a bit older than me, a bit more popular. I was still in my nerdy era. And Rachel didn't turn up for studio.
Oh.
So my Uncle B came and knocked on my door and he was like, "Right, T, we really need you at the studio. Would you come and lay something down?" And I was like, "No, I'm going to be a solo star." He's like, "Look, I'll give you 20 quid. And I was like, "I'm going to have to do better." He's like, 30. I was like, "Tell you what, give me a pinky and I'll be there." So he did. And then that's how N-Dubz started. I was 11 years old, bartering for 50 quid.
11 years old.
Yeah, and then...
And you already in your mind knew you wanted to be a singer at that time.
100%, without a doubt. Like from the age of 4, I knew that's what I was. As soon as I had vocal cords, discovered I could actually make notes. So I was like, this is it. But yeah, then we recorded for like 7 years before we actually got any real attention.
It's mad what goes behind the process. Like, you know, when people like, they go, oh, this overnight success. And you're like, there's nothing overnight about this. This is like 11 years in the making, like since you were children.
Literally, we'd been grafting for 7 years before we actually cracked it. And even then we hadn't cracked it, we just started to crack it.
Yeah. What was your break? What was that moment where you kind of got into the mainstream space? How did you get there?
Through Channel U, as you know, it was a bit of a process. So kind of Better Not Waste My Time came out, and then we'd go to number one on Channel U, and then it would get a little bit of attention, and then I Swear, and then we got more attention, and then by the time Ouch happened, that's when it was like we had thousands of fans across the UK, but just based off Channel U, and then the labels had to, get involved because they were like, these kids are going nuts for these kids.
Yeah.
Let's make some money out of it, obviously, label perspective.
What do you think it was about N-Dubz that captured the nation the way it did? Like that having that such like marketability to even, like I'm saying, like little private school kids to then the people who are into rap music, to the people who are into pop music. Like everyone loved it. I think the songs were just addictive.
I think first and foremost, we were just good at what we did because we've been doing it since the age of 11 years old. We'd had 7 years of training and practicing in the studio. Fazer had perfected, his art of production. And then we'd have this 80s influence from our parents where you listen to songs like Playing With Fire, you can hear these like strong 80s guitars, and we love live music, so we'd bring in live people to play it. And then we were also storytellers where we would really intricately explain situations, so people found it very relatable. So the combination of a great story on top of great music from these three kids that, could look like you and, dress like you, and were as naughty as you and still managed to do it.
I like you say, like the stories, they were so fucking deep, some of them, and so real.
It was intense. I look back, I'm like, we were talking about like abortions.
I know, and like
just
death,
crazy,
and like people you lost, but like you say, then you connected to so many people as well through that because like they can relate to these stories.
100%.
What's N-Dubz status right now?
We'll never end.
It will
never end. But we're just, taking a little bit of time out at the moment. It was a lot coming back. And as well, people don't know how long that comeback was going on for. So we were in the studio from like 3-4 years prior. So after a long period with the boys and 2 tours and an album, I definitely just need to take this year to do what I've got to do. It's a little bit of space, a little breather, and then we'll come back and then we'll do it all again.
Just to breathe.
But yeah, you need to take it in samples, otherwise you will.
Yes. I mean, you were already so famous from N-Dubz, but I think where you went into that next category and obviously was so in everyone's living rooms was with the X Factor.
Yeah.
I literally blew my own mind when I was researching that you were 23.
I was 22, actually.
22.
On the side.
Because I'm sitting at home watching, I'm trying to think how old I would have been. Like, I'm maybe 4 or 5 years younger than you.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking you're like an adult because you're with all these adults.
Yeah.
You must be a 30-year-old woman.
Yeah.
Like, when I saw that this morning, I was like, sorry, what?
I was like the youngest judge ever at the time.
Young.
Yeah.
Like, how do you even ask you this question? Like, what was that experience like for you?
Oh, just a whirlwind, absolutely bizarre.
The biggest show on telly.
Yeah.
Like, insane.
I mean, I manifested it. I looked at that job and was like, I'm going to have that job.
Really?
Yeah, like that job is mine.
And it was Gary?
Me, Gary, Kelly and Louis.
Yes.
Yeah,
and who did you get on with the best?
Louis.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like...
He seems like he's a good egg.
Yeah, he's just like giggly and funny and, quite lighthearted. And I think he maybe saw how young I was as well and had that sense of like, oh, I want to, protect you. So he was kind of like, have my back.
Yeah, because then when I thought about how young you were and I thought about some clips I've seen of you paneling and the way some of the other judges were of you, it made me kind of even more think, why are you like being so catty? It's like a young girl. You
have to imagine as well, like, when I'd said to myself, I'm going to get this job, and then I actually got to the point where I'm sat in Simon's house saying to him, if you don't hire me, this is the biggest mistake you've ever made.
I love that. I love that energy.
It's like...
I love that.
Sparking up a fag as well. You don't mind, do you? So, but I knew he was going to like that energy.
Yeah.
And then he hired me on the spot. He was like, the job's yours. And then I walked out of the house and I was like, okay, crap, no, I really need to do this. How am I going to, I'm in way over my head.
This is real.
This is crazy. It's like one thing, one in it, now I've got to do it.
Yeah.
So I was just like keeping my head above water the whole time. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was just trying my best. All of a sudden, I'm like one of the most famous people in the country at the time because I'm a judge. It was just like, what is going on?
And the media attention to that show and everything about it was like catatonic. People were obsessed.
Yeah.
How did you navigate that?
And I didn't.
No.
It was just a bit of a train wreck. I just had the attitude of, I am what you say I am. Basically, that was the vibe, a bit like the Eminem song, because I had so much backlash getting the job. You know, like a member of N-Dubz is on the panel. I remember when they first announced I was a judge, and there was a story where it said, it's Ibiza, it's 4 a.m, there is a girl covered in tattoos, she puts her mouth around a kebab, ladies and gentlemen, this is your new X Factor judge.
Oh, wow.
Chavi Tulisa.
Wow.
So I just had to kind of toughen up and go, yeah, and what?
Yeah.
I'm still
Did it
here.
hurt though?
Of course it did at that age, of course. But I would express my hurt through anger. So it just made me super defensive in a lot of ways. But then the first year, not so much. I was a bit chilled out.
Yeah.
And then when the tape happened in between the first and the second, that's what just sent me over the edge. That's when I was like in full defense mode.
The sex tape?
Yeah, that's when I went into full defense mode.
Because I wasn't actually going to bring that up because I didn't want to, I didn't know where you were at with kind of talking about it. But that happened between series 1 and series 2.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was the timeline.
Yeah, and I was aware of it in series 1. I'd been told that my ex had a tape and that it was coming out. So I was just living in constant fear.
That's horrendous.
And then went to one of the producers and I was like, apparently like my ex has this tape and he's going to release it. I don't know what to do. And she was just like, we're just going to have to take it as it comes. Like, who knows what's going to happen. So. And
then he released it in between the break. To what gain? Did he get money?
Yeah, apparently. Apparently I've been told he got a house out of it.
And any repercussions for him?
No.
Because
I mean, I sued him down the line, but I think he just got to the point where he's like, I'm not spending this money, because at the time I had money to spend. So I was like, I'm just going to keep suing your ass. And then eventually he just wrote an apology and kind of, he was denying that he'd released it. He tried to say that, I don't know, that it was me or I was involved, like something crazy like that. So he just basically admitted it was him. That was it, but there were no repercussions.
Because I know the law is changing, because Georgia Harrison's a really close friend of mine, and she just recently sent her ex basically to prison for that, and it's a criminal offence, but I don't know, is it a criminal offence?
It is now, it just wasn't then.
Which is insane to think.
It's mental.
That someone can release something so intimate, so private, basically in a form of blackmail.
Yeah.
And that's it, like
100%.
no, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
So how the hell did you feel then going back into series 2, knowing that so many people had seen this tape of you in such an intimate, private moment?
Honestly, there's no words to describe. Like, it felt like virtual rape. Like, that's the only way I can describe the emotion. It was just horrific. I felt so just judged, and I felt disgusting. I felt ashamed. It just felt horrible. There's no word to describe. It's taken me many, many years to come to terms with it.
I'm not surprised.
Many years. A long,
I
long
think
time.
that it's really easy for people who've never experienced that to look on the outside and go, well, you did it, or like, there was a camera there, or that when there's something has been created and it's meant to either not be filmed or it's for, a private reason, and then to be viewed by people that don't know, like you say, it's virtual rape. It's like, it's horrendous.
And do you know what else was horrible for me? Like when I was growing up, the group of girls that were my little clique that I hung around with and where we were from, giving head was like a thing. Like you don't do it. It's like, oh, no, we don't do that. And then that was the first relationship where I was with an older guy. So on top of it all, I already had this kind of feeling of
I don't really want to do
towards that anyway. And then now the first person I had ever done it with, it was on film and everyone could see it. So that just made it 10 million times worse.
Oh, mate, I'm so sorry. That is fucking awful.
Listen, now, for me, all pain is growth.
Yeah.
So every single part of my experiences I was meant to feel, and I wouldn't be the person I am today without them. So there is no regret on anything. That is my path. I was meant to live it, and I have.
How did you prepare yourself to go back and sit on that judging panel following something as traumatic as that? And how did you pick yourself up?
I just winged it like I was winging it from the second I got in there. I just continued to wing it, but now I was winging a whole different set of issues, which were my own emotions. So I was just trying to keep my head above water. I just became miserable by the end of that second year. I wasn't going to do the show again.
No.
And then they could see where it was going and they weren't going to hire me, but I'd already said, I'm not coming back. I can't do this.
No.
I just hated it. I hated it every day. Sat on that panel, I just felt like, oh, these eyes on me, and it was just reminding me of everything that happened. I needed time to just go away and process and come to terms with it. And it's like I said, it's taken me years. I didn't even know how long I would need to process it.
Because that trauma just like lives within you, doesn't it? Until you like
100%.
literally acknowledge it and go, okay, I'm going to deal with you now.
100%. It's affected my relationships to this day.
Yeah.
And intimacy and all those kind of things. It's like life-changing in a big, big way.
You actually won the X Factor with Little Mix.
Yeah.
Who obviously went on to be huge.
Yeah.
Could you even imagine at that time?
Little muffins.
I know. They're like little girls, weren't they? And they're little like matching outfits, and they're pulled up socks.
So tweety. Yeah. With glasses on Jade.
Yeah.
I was a delusional manifester. So the reason I got to everywhere I got to is because I always believed I could.
Yeah.
So I believed that one of my acts could win the show. But I think I only realised it was Little Mix halfway through. It wasn't that I didn't believe in them. It's just looking at patterns and statistics from the past. Girl groups always get kicked out after like within the first 4 to 6 weeks. So it's like really aiming for the impossible.
Yes.
So it's like just try and get them as far as you can possibly get them. But then I was like, hang on, something's different in the air here. Like the public are connecting to this girl group, and I noticed the more I let them be themselves, the more people connected with them.
And they've all obviously gone off and done their own thing now. Do you keep in touch with any of them?
I do here and there. Yeah, I do. I mean, like, we're not like bezies. We don't sit and chat to each other every day, but we definitely check in. We still get invites to each other's dues if someone's got a birthday and all the rest. So, yeah.
That's nice though.
It is nice.
And did the X Factor change your feelings, like your relationship with television and wanting to be involved in it?
100%. I think only, like even me sitting in this interview today, during all the N-Dubz promo, I really felt very uncomfortable coming back and putting myself
into it again.
Yeah, in front of those lights again. It really just deterred me from anything showbiz, and I've realised it's created a kind of irrational fear towards it. And one of the things at the moment I'm trying to do is just get uncomfortable to get great. You know, well, why is it that I feel that way towards it? It's because of things that other people have done to me. Why are you going to let them win?
Yeah.
You know, I've done this all my life. Why shouldn't I be able to sit down and feel comfortable in an interview and in front of cameras or being on TV? So this year it's become something that I'm trying to face.
Trying to face it head on.
Yeah, head on.
And hide from it.
Exactly.
I think, but look, that is a lot of trauma there. And I think like shows like The X Factor and the way, you know, look how they treated Caroline when she was hosting on there. It's like...
Don't even, because I'm so unhealed about that situation. I don't even want to start.
I'm with you on that 100%. It's like, I think that for a lot of people who are in TV, showbiz, once you've seen behind the curtain, it's a kind of like a, whoa, this is what it is. This is how we tread on people's necks to get where we need to get. And this is how we edit things. And it's a sobering fucking slap in the face.
It is.
And then once you've seen it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to, like you say, then you have to make your decision of how you either choose to completely remove yourself from it or you like you're doing now, I'm going to come back in, but on my terms.
Yeah, or I was going to say, or adapt your career.
Yeah.
So that you're you can step into certain parts of it and step out, and you don't have to be kind of held to ransom.
Yeah.
In a way.
What makes you happy the most? Music?
No, what makes me happy the most? spending time with the people I love or by myself, probably more by myself actually. Going for long walks with my dog, cooking, watching fantasy movies and series.
So just very
playing
simple
PlayStation. It's just simple things. Feeling peaceful in my own company or with people that I love, and just being present, being in the moment, and feeling a sense of peace. That's what makes me happy.
In terms of work, would it be music?
In terms of work, actually, so like at the moment, this year coming, I'm going into property.
Okay.
I'm going to build some themed rentals. I'm going to get a piece of land, and because I'm such a fantasy nerd, I've decided to
I never knew this about you.
Yeah, massive nerd. I want to create like a Lord of the Rings Hobbit hole.
Shut up.
I want to do like a Woodland Realm. I want to do like a Star Wars
They would be
Millennium
popular.
Falcon. I know. I'll research how much they rent for. It's a lot. It's like 3 times
That is the
average.
nichest thing. Of all the things I thought you were going to say to me in that question, I was not that.
Yeah,
That was not my bingo card.
And this is the thing that is exciting me the most.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm just
I thought
like,
you were
I
going to be like
can't.
getting back in the studio writing songs. You're like, I'm going to build a Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, and this is the thing that I'm most passionate about at the moment is creating and going into my property. So that for me right now is like, yes, I'm just so excited. I can't wait. I'm drawing up my plans. I'm looking for land. And
amazing.
it's just thrilling.
Hi Hans, it's Liv and welcome to this week's What the Foxy Trends, brought to you by Foxy Bingo. I have 2 current trending styles and I'm going to give my opinions on them. Let's do it. First up, the tabby shoes. Sick. Like sick to my stomach over it. Like I can't explain how they make me feel. There's just no need. Unless you have 4 legs and a tail, your feet should never look like that. It's giving hoof. I hate it. I hate it. Sorry. Just to be clear again, I hate it. Second, leopard print. Leopard print's coming back. I feel like it never left. I personally love leopard print. I think it's giving Sopranos, Cougar, YSL, like it's just a vibe. I actually think leopard print is very timeless, and I have leopard print pieces in my wardrobe, which when I was doing a closet clear out about a year ago, Ryan said to me, we could get rid of the leopard print. I said, babe, it's gonna come back. It always does. Hello. Guys, that was this week's What the Foxy Trends, brought to you by Foxy Bingo. I will see you next week. You use this expression twice now, the get uncomfortable to get great.
Yeah.
What kind of triggered that for you?
I mean, I went through this period of my life where things were getting a lot better. Everything I've been working towards was happening and I was in a great place. But there were still some areas that I still felt affected by, that, you know, saying no to situations or people pleasing or staying comfortable instead of making harsh decisions. And I just went into my fuck it era, and I was like, I am not going to spend another second feeling anything I do not want to feel.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to make some harsh decisions or big decisions. And I just did it, and I went for it, and I was like, I'm going to move house, I'm going to do this, I'm going to create my own happiness. This is how I see myself being my happiest. So just go and do it. Don't think about it, don't talk about it, do it. And I did it, and here I am at my happiest. It works.
Would you say this is your happiest era?
100%. 100%. Like, so far, this has been the best year of my life.
That's incredible.
I know, it's wild.
Yeah. But
Wild.
it's good. It's amazing.
Fantastic.
What is your relationship like with the press these days? How do you, because you, like you say,
They kind of leave me alone now.
Do
to
they?
an extent, yeah, they know.
Because you, at one point, it was so bad for you.
Yeah.
Like, you must have been hounded by paps and journalists. I mean, you couldn't even move without someone writing something about you.
Oh, yeah, it was horrific. Yeah.
Like, how, as a young woman, how the hell did you keep your head above water during all that?
I don't really know how I did it. It's just one of those things where I couldn't change it, so I would just crack on. But
and it
then,
makes so much sense now why you crave peace and the
exactly.
countryside
People
and
are like,
movies.
And I'm all the way in like Cheshire, and
Yeah.
I literally just see like green hills when I look out my
Well,
back
you
garden.
get it.
And
You're
people are
like,
like, "Why would you move all the way? You're in the middle of nowhere." I'm like, exactly.
That's the fucking point.
Exactly where I want to be. But yeah, I think I just got to a point where things started to calm down a bit after all the drama and the trial and the rubbish. I just started to kind of hide from the press. I wouldn't go to events. I wouldn't be seen out where I knew there was going to be paps, and I would wear face masks and cover my head with caps, and I would just avoid it at all costs, no interviews. And I just spent years trying to kind of lower my profile to hide, basically. And it worked. It has calmed down loads.
One of the things that they speculated over the years is cosmetic stuff.
Yes.
We love this chat. I love this chat. If you know me,
Let's do it. I've never gone into
this pod. We love talking about cosmetic surgery. I love talking about anything cosmetic, actually. They speculated over the years, but you've actually never spoke about it, I believe.
No.
In any uncertain type of way. Any particular reason why?
No, to be fair, I hadn't had any surgery up until confession recently, and all the time before
there was nothing.
there was no surgery. It was only fillers.
That's hilarious.
And other issues that I had. So to take you from the beginning, when I was about 20, I want to say 24, I had my first Bell's palsy attack. So I was sat at home and I had this massive burst of inflammation. I can actually show you a picture of it.
Okay.
This is what happened.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
And so go on. So Bell's palsy, I mean, I know what it is in its sense, but it happened like that?
Yeah, so I was sat at home and I had this huge burst of inflammation on my cheek, as if like I had an abscess in there or something. And I went straight to a doctor. They gave me antibiotics, steroid injections, don't know what caused it. And then it went down to a certain extent, left with some mild swelling, and then my whole face just dropped. So it's like literally like that. Everything.
Could you move it?
Can't move it.
Did you think you were having a stroke?
No, because I'm quite good with like self diagnosing, so I was straight on the research, and because of the burst of inflammation and then the aftermath, I was like, this is Bell's palsy. So my face remained like that for 7 months.
Fuck.
I didn't go out. I just hid in the house.
And what causes that? Do you know?
There's different types of research about it and different things, but no one actually knows. No one actually really knows what causes it. For me, it was the trauma of the inflammation that causes it, but no one knows what's caused the inflammation.
No one knew what caused this cheek to blow up.
So yeah, that was obviously very stressful. And then as I was coming to the end of the 7 months, my face is still not right. I still have the mild swelling. So what I would do is I would go and get fillers to try and balance out the symmetry. So I'd be like, right, you can put some in that cheek to match the swelling on that cheek. And then if you put some here to lift this up, so my lip is down there. And so you can imagine the vicious cycle. And then I had like a good year, 2 years where there was no Bell's palsy attacks. I was like, yes, this is brilliant. But then I noticed this low level swelling that started to happen here in the same cheek. And I was like, okay, great, what's this now? And it started to get worse. I would have like tingling sensations, like little ants crawling in my face. My cheek was numb. And I started seeing doctors all around the UK, like something's wrong with me, what's wrong with my face?
That'd be so fucking scary.
It was scary. And then what happened was, because I had this low-level swelling, I then dissolved all the filler in this side of my face, and then I would match the inflammation by putting filler in the other side. So you have this side is swollen, and this side is filler to match the swelling. This went all the way up until this year. So even when I was doing the N-Dubz run, it was at its worst. It was literally like horrific. I constantly felt like my cheek was on fire. I'd have good days and bad days. And I'd also on some days take steroids, which would bring it down. So like, you might see an interview, I look normal, and then you see another interview, it's like, what the hell is going on with her face? And then I have this doctor, and he was like, T, these scans that I'm doing, these ultrasounds, there's these dark shadows here, but I really think it would just be best to try and get them removed in case they're what's causing the inflammation. Now, I'd shown these little shadows to all the other doctors, and they were like, it's filler. And I'm like, I've dissolved all this. Not, it's filler. You played with your face, like it's filler, or it's a benign cyst, like that can't be causing any problems. So anyway, then Dr. Ali introduced me to a max vax surgeon. His name's Dr. Coombs, and he was looking at all the tests and everything, and he was just like, you are literally an anomaly in the system.
Like, I've never seen this.
Yeah, he's like, I've never seen anything like this. He was like, what I'm going to do, if you would allow me, is an explorative op to go in and just see what I can find. I was like, please do it. I'll do anything. Please, I can't take it any longer. So he went in, and I never forget, like, I woke up and he's like, we've got some good news. We found 3 chronically infected cysts in your face. So I basically had these cysts that were sat all around this cheek, and they were swelling up with infection, then being scar tissue covering them, being cocooned, swelling back up again. And he said he went in, and one of them actually popped as he went in. How, like, gross, that's how infected it was inside.
And what were they caused by?
No idea.
No idea where they came from?
No idea. He's like, they weren't filler.
They were just like self-occurring.
Yeah, just like, I can't even remember the name of, the terminology for this actual cyst it was, but they were just
awful,
cysts.
Though, that journey of waiting you could have had that solved years ago if someone had just actually took it seriously.
Literally, I know. But I came out of the operation, and then instantly my face just went, it was less swollen after the op. But on the scans, they can see the same shadows. There's one here still.
Oh, no.
And one here. So I still have the inflammation, but it's way less than what it was. So in the next 2 months, he's going to go in through this way to get those ones, the one there and the one there. And then hopefully, so you can actually see. So if I look at you now and I go like this, can you see this fluid bubble?
Yes, when you do that. Yeah.
That's like fluid there from where the cysts are. So hopefully after the last 2 get removed, it will go...
You'll be back to
completely back to normal. But it's like right now, I only have filler in my lips. There's no filler anywhere else in my face. But because of this inflammation here, it gives that plumped
And I guess because you've been struggling
look.
with this and your face has been changing and no one knows, everyone's like, oh my God, she's like filling up her cheeks.
Exactly that.
Right, that's so interesting.
I know.
I never knew that.
No one does.
You never spoke about it publicly?
No.
That's crazy.
But bear in mind, I only discovered what was really going on this year. And Dr. Coombs was like, have you been feeling ill? And I was like, yeah. He's like, well, you would have been because you got a chronic infection. And I've had all these health problems for the past, for years. They were testing me for sarcoidosis, immune disorders. And now it explains all the symptoms that I was getting. And also, he doesn't know how long they've been in there for. They could have been causing Bell's palsy.
Yeah, of course.
Because in total, I think there's 1, 2, 3, 6 of them. They could have been growing over the years, actually triggering the Bell's palsy. They could have been the burst of inflammation.
Oh, absolutely.
So
and then obviously, touch wood, the Bell's palsy hasn't returned since he's taken these out.
No.
That's
but it had stopped for a while before. It had just gone to this low level inflammation that started getting worse and worse. So no Bell's palsy, but then just a swollen face on one side.
That's, mate, I'm glad they're getting to the bottom of that for you.
100%.
Should we play a little game?
Oh, I love a game, yeah. Let's lighten the mood.
So, this is the box of wrong. Have you got a so wrong it's right for me?
I am a bit of I'm a loner. I'm an introvert. I love alone time. I'm very happy in my own company. And sometimes my friends, they can get a little bit offended by that. And they'll be like, T, your phone has been switched off for 3 days.
So you actually turn it off?
Yeah, I put it on like airplane mode, or I leave it on charge and I just don't touch it. It's like in a room and I'm just off, ignoring it. And then I'll go check it like 3 days later.
I feel that is
But I'll prep free time. Like I'll know I have nothing to do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I won't do
but
that like work
really
and stuff.
healthy, as well.
Yeah.
That is so wrong it's right, I think.
Yeah, but sometimes my mates are like, honestly, like, can you just let us know you're alive? I'm like, well, what do you think has happened to me? And they're like, well, what if I died? And I was like, well, you'd be dead and there'd be nothing I could do about it.
Would find
the funeral
out in
isn't going to be in 2 days, so I'm still going to make it. Like, just let me have my little me time.
100%.
No,
I actually, a therapist said to me not long ago, he's like, I want you to try and, because I'm really like chained to my phone, like it's, from 6 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. And he was like, I'd like you to try 1 day a week where it's off, like you plan, it has to be a day off, obviously. But it's hard though. But I was
really?
like, I
love
find it
it.
hard. So once the first half an hour's gone, I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah.
You feel so free.
So I usually use my hangover day, especially like when I have a hangover, I never touch my phone. So I don't drink that much. I maybe drink like once every 2 weeks to once every 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's very similar to me.
I prep it as a me day. So I'm like, right, I'm going to I don't even go out, stay in with my friends, have a few drinks. And then the next day I'm like, great, we've got Lord of the Rings trilogy coming up. I'm going to eat this, my cheat day as well. No phone. Yeah. And I look forward to these days and I just sit in my bed or my snug room and just eat, nibble, relax, no phones.
Okay, I'm going to read you some little statements and we'll decide if they're wrong, right, or so wrong they're right. Only fake tanning the bits that people can see.
Wrong.
Yeah, I don't like that. I've never done it because I feel like
well, within reason.
Within reason. It's like yesterday I was going to an event in a dress and it was long arms, long legs, but I had to fake tan my whole body because otherwise I'd have felt ugly.
Yeah.
But no one can see my arms or legs.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's like in here.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Throwing a partner's things away after you break up instead of giving them back.
Nah, don't give him that much energy.
Just give him back.
Straight love and let it go. He goes. It's the best way to react is straight peaceful. Like you're not bothered. Just go, here's your stuff.
Have you always been straight peaceful?
No. Toxic as.
Wearing knockoffs and pretending they're real, like designer stuff.
Why not? Who knows? Who cares? Listen, even the concept of designers themselves, all of my designer stuff, 99% of it is from when I've paid for stylists. When I shop myself, not bothered.
So that's not a thing for you spending your money on designer stuff. It's not a joy.
Unless I liked a specific piece that was from somewhere and I can't get that anywhere else, then I'll do it. But I'm not going to wear it for the sake of wearing it because it's a designer.
Talking of looks, have you still got the tattoo?
Which one? The female boss? Do you want to see it?
So she did.
Said that with excitement.
I love it. We'll have to get a picture of that in a minute. When I told my husband that you were coming on the pod, he went, this is literally what he did to me. He went, oh my God. And I went, sorry. I was like, that is the campest thing you've ever done. But yeah, exactly. Female boss. He was like, no, remember Saturday nights and then you'd come out on the X Factor and you used to do that.
Yeah, I know, my little.
Singers who mime.
Look, I'm happy for everyone to make their bag. If someone has found a way to get up there and they are, dancing around, doing what they're doing, pretending to, and they're making money, good on you, mate.
Yeah.
Like, just go for it. As a singer, wouldn't do it myself. If someone's making the money, doing anything, and they're happy doing it, I'm for it.
You're so wholesome. And this energy is so like, it's letting people live.
So I'm in my peaceful era.
You are in the peaceful era.
When you're happy with you, you're happy for everyone else. That's what it is.
That's a very true point. Staying friends with someone because of the perks of the friendship.
No, we don't do all of that. We don't do none of that low vibrational.
You must have had some
energy.
clingers on over the years, though. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, of course. But now, the circle is solid.
Did you just clear the roster?
Yeah, it's just solid. Just the original Codys.
Yeah.
Any new people, good energy, happy people, positive people. I have got an amazing soul family around me. I'm super blessed with my soul family. So lucky. Honestly, I love
when
them
you were
so
going
much.
through the ups and downs, all the things you've gone through over the years, did people come into your life for the wrong reasons?
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
And then they just weed their way out because you just realise those aren't real friendships and they just kind of disintegrate.
I don't think I really noticed, to be honest. It's clearly no one that I was that bothered about.
No.
Because I don't remember now when I'm thinking about it.
We're not mourning their loss in the group.
I'm just like, I just looked
You're like,
to now.
I don't remember them.
Yeah, I don't. I'm sure there were people that, it's in the past, but who knows?
I've absolutely loved this chat. Honestly, you've lived such a fascinating life.
Thank you.
And you're so fucking young still. It blows my mind thinking of all the things you've done and all the things you've been through. And it's so nice to have you here on the show. It's a dream come true for me.
And I think you're amazing at what you do. I've always loved your energy. I've always seen you from afar and thought, do you know what? I'd love a drink with her. We'd get along.
Thank you.
So come see me in Cheshire.
I'd love that.
We'll go for a little drink.
Thanks. I loved it.
This season of So Wrong It's Right is sponsored by our friends at Foxy Bingo. Are you looking for a fun online bingo experience all at the tip of your finger? Whether you're a seasoned bingo pro or a complete beginner, Foxy Bingo is the place for you. They've got bags of bingo to go around, plus loads of top slots that you can grab a paw full of. They have a huge range of free, classic and exclusive games you can play with your mates and community chat, so you can always feel part of the Foxy pack. So get your fox on by heading to Foxy Bingo today. 18+, begambleaware.org, T's and C's apply.